Y'all know who it is. Metro Meta, the one who stands above all others, the Oracle, and this is Dust Off the Cartridge, Volume 1, Episode 6, end of this volume, and I am here with my illustrious guest, the one and only.
First of all, I'm not a guest. I'm a co-host. All right, let's
Yes.
get that straight. This is Marcus Flowers, one Marcus Flowers on all social media platforms, aka Flow, aka call me what you want, just don't call me lazy. And we are here for another edition of the Dust Off the Cartridge podcast.
We are, and you know how I'm feeling right now?
How you feeling, man?
I'm feeling vindicated. I'm feeling vindicated. All these weeks I've been out here, I'm calling myself the Oracle, but where are my predictions at? One of my predictions have finally come true. I foresaw a game, I foresaw it being trash, and lo and behold, Fallout 76 came out, and to no one's surprise, it was trash. Oh, oh, the irony. The irony. Have you seen this game, Marcus?
I haven't seen the game, but it has been trashed relentlessly online. I was not surprised that it had bad reviews. It was just a bad game. I wasn't. I saw a playthrough online. I wasn't impressed by it. So this news is not surprising to me.
Let's run down the sins of Fallout 76. Number one, it is still running on the outdated creation engine. A creation engine that, if we're being honest, Marcus, is older than me. The basics of the creation engine, it dates back to like even before 1997. Uh, Tons of graphical glitches. And even if you get past the massive amounts of bugs, it looks awful. The gameplay is boring. There's no content at launch. On Friday, Bethesda had to release a patch that was as big as the game itself.
Yeah,
And
that's pretty
just one,
horrible.
just 1 week out of launch, it is already on sale for Black Friday at a 33% discount. So it was awful. It was bad. There's an influx of Fallout 77 out here trying to say it's not as bad as everyone says it is. It's awful. It's bad. Bethesda should feel bad because it is bad. One review I saw, they outright refused to give the game a review. They said that it was so awful they didn't want to play it anymore, and their review was stay away from the game. So, and another review, perhaps the tagline of this whole fiasco is Fallout 76 is a bad ideal done badly. So, yep, that happened. Hopefully, it's a wake up call for Bethesda, because as we know, in the works they have, of course, Starfield, their new space MMO, their new space RPG, and Elder Scrolls 6. So, they either need a new engine or the creation engine needs a overhaul. And we're
Yeah,
talking
I
like
would say they need a new creation engine. They don't need an overhaul. They need something new completely, and I hope they will be able to do that. But with their releases, because all those games come out next year, so I don't know if they'll have the time to do that.
it's gonna depend. Starfield, I think, is more of a 2023. Elder Scrolls 6, that's gonna take forever. Like they have time on these things. The problem is, are they going to spend the money to update and get a new engine? Because that's one of the most expensive things, and it's time consuming. You're talking a new engine. That's 3-4 years, and most of their games have to be put on pause. I'm guaranteeing you that at best we could be looking at a heavily modified creation engine. And at this point, the creation engine is so far beyond, it's so far behind on all other engines. Let's Go is making it look worse. Like, it's just, I've always said that I don't like the way Bethesda games look. I've always believed that they look really bad, and it seems like now people are starting to notice that. Like they used to cover it up with like themes and like Fallout's like retro futuristic retro futuristic like point of view, but it's just it does not come off well. It does not come off good. But moving on, 2K League, you said there was some new developments.
Oh yeah, so basically, the 2K League qualifier it ends either tonight or well, we are recording on Sunday, so it ends either tonight or tomorrow. So good luck. Um, yeah. So in order to be a part of the 2K League, obviously you have to have graduated high school by November 2nd, 2018. And if you and basically there are 6 minute quarters. You have to play. There are 15 archetypes on there. There's a sharpshooting defender, playmaking sharpshooter, sharpshooting playmaker, playmaking shot creator, pure sharpshooter for the point guards. For the strong guards, you have the lockdown defender, pure sharpshooter, sharpshooting shot creator, sharpshooting playmaker. For the shooting guards. For the strong forward, you have the lockdown defender, two-way point forward, two-way shot creator, two-way sharpshooter, sharpshooting defender. And for the power forward, you have the sharpshooting post scorer, sharpshooting athletic finisher, rebounding stretch four, two-way stretch four, shot creating post scorer. And for the center, you have the glass cleaner, pure rim protector, two-way post scorer, sharpshooting rebounder, and slashing post scorer. So yeah, make sure you guys get that in. And if you guys meet all the qualifications, you have to win 100 Pro-Am games. And you will be contacted by an NBA 2K League representative via phone if you have made the draft pool. And all players who receive the conditional offer must pass a background check and social media check to confirm their draft eligibility.
All right. So y'all get on it. You know, we want to see some fresh faces. I'm really excited to see what that league can do in this coming season. But let's go on to even greater news. People were out here. They were out here, Marcus. They were out here disrespecting the brand. They were out here disrespecting the history. And once again, Pokemon comes out here and shows them what's for. So Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Let's Go Eevee have come out to selling 3 million copies in their first week, outselling any other Switch game ever. We're talking more than Mario, Legend of Zelda, Breath of the Wild, one of the best reviewed games ever that came out to a system that had nothing else on it. And Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee are still out here outselling them. If you combine their totals, they were number one in UK sales. So you can't be out here disrespecting the brand. You really can't.
Yeah, yeah, no, definitely. It's a great accomplishment for the Nintendo brand. They really needed a win this year, and I'm glad they got that. But it's already knocked out the park because Super Smash Brothers already is the most pre-ordered game ever in Switch history. So
yeah. See, here's the thing about this year. A lot of people, because last year was a miracle for the Switch. You know, it came out to Breath of the Wild, then it got Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, then it got Splatoon, and then it got Arms, and then it got Kingdom Battle, and then it ended the year with Super Mario Odyssey and Xenoblade Chronicles 2. So last year, the Switch had so many amazing AAA like titles. Like this year, people have been feeling like it's not as strong. It's not getting as many games as it did last year. Not as much support as it did last year. And hopefully next year they fix it. They got Luigi's Mansion coming up. They got Animal Crossing. So they got a lot of good big things planned for next year. But these two games alone, Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee and Super Smash Bros., I think, to me, it makes up for the year. You only need those two games if you're Nintendo. You don't need along with what's already coming to the platform with Warframe, with things we're talking about later, and other games coming to it, you don't need a lot of games. You just need Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee, and then you need Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. And next year is gonna be even amazinger because we're gonna have Animal Crossing, we're going to have a Luigi's Mansion, and another Pokemon game. So the Switch is looking like a real powerhouse of a system out here. Really excited to see what Nintendo does. A lot of I think this is giving Nintendo a time to like look back at their catalog and see what sort of games and what franchises they can bring back from the dead with their Metroid Prime and their Bayonetta threes. Franchise I want to come back to life that I think Nintendo needs to put a little bit more time in, maybe workshop it a little, is a little known title called Fossil Fighters. I played on DS. It's sort of like a dinosaur Pokemon like game. Super fun. I think if they build upon Fossil Fighters Champion, uh, I definitely play that. I also want another Pokemon Champion game. I want it. That game was amazing. One of the best Pokemon spinoffs other than Let's Go. But let's move on from Pokemon, from Let's Go, to the greatest, the greatest athlete out here right now. I'll put that down. So, a quote from Slasher at Twitter: "The man, the myth, the legend, the most importantly, the furry. Sonic Fox 5000 has now won $500,000 playing fighting games in the last 4 years. What a monster! Truly a contender for Esports Player of the Year. IP Finals." So Sonic Fox, we have stated it before. He is one of the best players and one of the best athletes, one of the best African American athletes out here as far as representation goes. Even on his Twitter, he is unapologetic about who he is. He straight up just says, "I'm black, I'm gay, I'm a furry, and if you don't like it, you can go away." And he's out here, he's killing it. And his last match, he even donated some of his prize pool to his competitor, whose father had cancer. And he's what an athlete should be. Am I wrong with that?
No. Sonic Fox is an amazing athlete. He is the number one Injustice 2 player in the world. So that's very dope of him. And it was a much different approach he had this year than the previous year. But yeah, once he told one of his competitors, "Your dad has cancer. If I win, I'm going to help you out." And it just shows. He says quote unquote, "I put in a lot of work with Joker over the last couple of months, and I'm so happy to show that the character isn't as bad as he seems." When asked if he had any shoutouts, he said he brought up Rewind's dad, and he says, "I don't do this for the money. Rewind is one of my good friends and one of my training partners, and I'm so very happy to have shared the stage with him." So he is a once in a lifetime talent, and he's the kind of player that can pick up any fighting game he wants and be good at it just within a short period of time. And even though he is very young, Sonic Fox, he has already submitted his legacy as one of the community's most legendary competitors. And waltzing into that, and just with him coming into Injustice 2 Pro Series Finals and winning after spending a year focusing on everything but Injustice, it just shows how smart he is when it comes to figuring out intricacies of the genre and capitalizing on them.
Yeah, I definitely think that Sonic Fox name needs to be written down as a god character, as a god player. He deserves the title, perhaps more than even some of the people who are actually called gods now. But let's go to our next piece of news. The people at CD Projekt Red are opening their mouth. They got a game in their mouth, and it is Red Dead. And they said they want Cyberpunk 2077 to be as polished as Red Dead, which is a big statement. That is a monolith of a game and a monolith of uh, an aspiration to live up to. Do
Yeah,
I
it
think they
is.
can do it?
I don't think
I
so.
think they might.
I don't think they can.
CD Projekt Red makes some pretty good games.
Yeah,
Next
they
to
do, but
Rockstar, they're one of
I
the
don't
most
think they
venerated.
can make anything like Red Dead Redemption or even Cyberpunk 2077. I don't think that could be like Red Dead in quality.
We'll have to see. It's looking pretty good so far, and they did really well with the Witcher series. They like almost hands down brought that series to the entire world. Even if it doesn't live up to Red Dead standard, I think it's going to be an amazing game. I'm definitely looking forward for it. Definitely looking forward to seeing what they have doing. But in other news, red alarm, PlayStation is not coming to E3 this year.
Yeah, I thought that was surprising.
I mean, like, here's the thing with PlayStation, and I've people have mentioned this before, is that PlayStation's at the top of the heap, and it's getting close to the end of this generation. It's the waning days of the PS4, Xbox One, and I think this is just further proof of that because the only exclusives that PlayStation has under development for PS4 that we know of is, of course, Dream, which I think comes out pretty soon, Ghost of Tsushima, The Last of Us, Hideo Kojima's game, Death Stranding, and I think that's it.
Yeah, I think that
Like
is
that's
it.
pretty much that's it right now. And they don't need to make more games to sell this console. And quite frankly, if I'm being honest, I think several of those games might be moved to the PS5.
Yeah,
And
no, definitely. And
several
I kind of hope
developers
they don't get the PS5 just because I just bought a PS4. That would kind of that kind of suck.
yeah, if we're lucky and the pressure has worked, the PS5 will have backwards compatibility and we can play our games on there.
Yeah,
That is some speculation. But yeah, even Square Enix has said that they are developing a game for the PS5. Going back to Cyberpunk, there's been some rumors that they've been talking to Sony and looking at the PS5. So it's definitely a sign that Sony isn't doing it. And this, I think, is also partly due to the the just the backlash they had from their last E3 show. Because you watched it, didn't you?
yeah, I did.
Yeah, it was an interesting ideal executed. It was executed well, but not for the audience that they were looking for. One thing I heard, like at the people at Funhouse, was it was an art house game production portrayed to a public forum. So like with them having all these like flutes and all this environmental stuff, like for the people who were there, it looked amazing. It flowed perfectly. But for everybody watching the stream, it just looked weird and awkward. So I think, and with things like, because when you look at things like Nintendo doesn't do E3 anymore, they have their direct where they can just record it, cut out everything they don't like, and put it online. You Even Microsoft doesn't have a booth at E3, although they do the trade show, and you also run into the problem of your game being outshined by other things. I think what Sony is probably doing is they're going, you know what we're gonna do? We're gonna take our games and we're going to develop them and we're gonna make them. We're gonna release those games and we're going to build up a trade show, build up PSX, which they also canceled, and then we're just gonna announce probably announce PS5, PSX that during December break, maybe 2019, 2020, and have it come out in March like Nintendo did for the Nintendo Switch. Has a whole summer to build up a library of games, release a big title during holiday break, during Black Friday season to draw in customers and get a head start on the entire next generation. So it will be interesting to see what PlayStation does.
Yeah.
Yeah. So last thing on the docket is Warframe came out on Switch. I told you this about this, Marcus. I don't know if you do you know anything about Warframe?
No, I don't, but I did download it for the Switch.
Yeah. For those of you guys who don't know, Warframe, it's sort of called Ninjas in Space. It's like a Destiny S game where it's an online MMORPG. I've tried to play it on actually multiple consoles. I've tried to play it on PS4. I've tried to play it on PC, and it just never stuck with me. I could never like get into it. It's notorious for being bad for first time players. But this time I had my Nintendo Switch, and I was just like, you know what, I'll try this out. Downloaded it, put on a comedy show, put on Trevor Noah's new comedy show, and I played through it while watching the comedy show. And it sort of clicked this time. I sort of get the grind. It is to state this honestly, it is probably the most powerful and the best port made on the Switch. Like shout outs to Panic Button, who is quite frankly the unofficial Switch porter. Like they did Wolfenstein 2, they've done Skyrim and multiple other projects. Of every single person putting things out on the Nintendo Switch platform, Panic Button is arguably the best like porter. It's the people are hitting up to port your game to Nintendo Switch. And I think next to Nintendo, they might be the people who know the system better than anyone. Like,
Yeah,
they're
no,
really
definitely.
out here killing it.
Yeah, no, for
As
real.
smooth frame rate, it looks amazing. Honestly, it works better on my Switch than my other systems. It's not laggy. Like, it's super cool.
Dope, dope.
Yeah, yeah. So shout outs to Panic Button. And if you're in need for a new game, I'd suggest checking out Warframe. It's a pretty fun game. But it's time for the boss battle, and you know it's that time of year, it's end of the year, and we have a lot of projects. We'll talk about this later. We got a lot of projects coming up, so we gotta get this out. Gotta get this out. So boss battle time. Your game of the year. What do you have, Marcus?
So my game of the year is Spider Man. I know it's been a lot of flaws as time goes on and you get deeper in the game, but I do like Spider Man. I do like the originality of it. I do like that they continue to bring out new content such as new suits that you can get, new missions that you can have, and everything like that. So I really think Spider Man is my game of the year, and also it was just refreshing to see a good Marvel game. Like the last Spider-Man game was good, but I think this one just blew it out the water from the graphics to the storyline. And I liked how they merged the Ultimate Universe storyline and the 616 Universe storyline into giant uh, one giant game plan that you can do. So I really enjoyed that.
All right, cool, cool. Now, for me, I've actually been catching up on a lot of games this year. I haven't played a lot of the new games coming out. I'm very particular with the games I like to play. None of them have reached me like I need to be reached. However, of the games I've played, I will have to give it to Let's Go Eevee. I've been playing it a couple hours, and it's just watching it, playing it. I see the basis of a game that is so beautiful and so great. I want them to build upon this game for the next one. And like the other games I've seen and played, I see the faults. I see the things where I go and I'm done here. I don't want to keep doing this. But with Let's Go, I don't see a problem with. Like I do catch combos. I want to name my Pokemon. I want to catch a shiny. I might even get like all 151. So I think that for me, it's a Pokemon game. I gotta put it out there. Let's Go is my game of the year.
Okay, very dope. We're about to close this out, but we have two projects coming up for you guys at 26 and Glencoe. So the first one, we're going to have our first ever our versus tournament. It's where Morgan and myself will be going back and forth. On We'll be competing on different video games, so such as WWE 2K19, Tekken 7, Dragon Ball Z Fighter, NBA 2K19, Naruto Ultimate Dragon, and Injustice 2. And we're going to be doing that as a video series. So if you are listening to us on Apple Podcasts, unfortunately that will only be available on YouTube, and maybe we'll put it on our Twitch page because we do have a Twitch page. but I'm not too sure about that right now. Morgan, tell them about the second project that you're doing that we're coming up with this month. Or this is a podcast, so just tell them what we're doing.
What is the second project?
The second podcast is our in-depth discussion
Oh
about.
yeah, let's go.
Okay.
So me and Marcus are we're gonna beat the game. I'll probably beat it before I go home, and we're gonna break down all of Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee. Gonna go real in depth, really discuss and break down what we played and how we played it, and just everything we like and maybe things we dislike. And full surprise, full supreme out here, it will be your only chance to get a look at me and Marcus's teams. So Marcus and I have been playing Pokemon for about most of our lives. Got a lot of information, got a lot of ideas on how to build a team. I'm particularly good with JRPGs and turn-based projects. So if you are looking for help for building up a team for Let's Go Eevee, maybe looking for some tips, be on the lookout for that just as soon as I come home, because it's about to be lit.
Okay, and that is it for Volume 1, Episode 6 of the Super Flow Bro podcast. Once again, we just want to thank everybody for their support, for the likes, the comments. Thank you for downloading. Follow me on all social media platforms at OneMarcusFlowers. Follow Morgan on all social media platforms at MetroMeta26. Make sure you following 26 and Glencoe at 26 and G. Make sure you following us on Instagram at 26 and Glencoe. Make sure you like our Facebook page, 26 and Glencoe Media Network. And until next time, peace. I do like Marco's just like just like just like just like just like Marco's like just like I do like myself when I'm doing my thing, doing my thing, doing my thing, doing my thing. It's don't have shit gonna put me in the drain, put me in the drain, put me in the drain. Put me in the drain. You do good, gon' run my blame. Run my blame. Run my blame. Run my blame.